Am I the antagonist for refusing to see my spouse on their birthday? It's my husband's birthday next week, a few days after his sister's. His sister messaged me asking if I had any plans for him this weekend and whether we would like to come and see her and have a joint birthday get-together. She lives 5 hours away, round trip. I said sure, that sounds great, and that I had no plans for him this weekend, but I am doing something special on his actual birthday. I do have something on with my friends on Saturday morning, but this is literally 1 hour and did not impact us potentially seeing his sister at all. This is relevant later. I spoke to my husband about this, and he said he wanted to do something, just him and I, for his birthday, e.g. dinner, spend the day together, etc. And we also needed to save for many upcoming expenses, vacation soon and moving house. And going down to see her would be expensive in fuel, gifts, having to pay for her dinner, she doesn't pay for anything, etc. I told him I already told her we were free, so he said he would call her and handle it, and make up an excuse that he was seeing his own friends this weekend and couldn't make it. I agreed to this. He called her, and then after the call he told me he had actually told her he was free this weekend, but he told her I was not, and that I was actually going to see my friends. He said his sister was surprised and said, but original poster didn't mention she was busy? This has put me in such an awkward position. His sister told him it doesn't matter if I'm busy, and for him to come and see her anyway. I asked him why he changed the whole story and pretty much threw me under the bus. He said he felt sorry for her on the phone and didn't want her to spend her birthday without him, despite telling me a whole different story just an hour ago, and that it was fine if he changed his mind. I do recognize it's okay for him to change his mind and actually decide to see her. I feel massively betrayed. It's like he told me one thing and her another. I told her I was free on the weekend, and he said I'm busy with friends, making me look like a liar. He said we weren't going to see her as we were saving up, but then totally flipped on the phone. He called me selfish and cold and two-faced, saying I'm fake to his sister and asking why I have a problem with him seeing her. But the problem is really how he handled all of this, and he has pretty much stopped me from going too, by telling her I'm busy. I told him I refuse to plan anything for his birthday now. I'm just so hurt and feel betrayed. I told him I don't want to see him this weekend, so all the plans are out the window. Am I the asshole? I answered some questions in the comments before I knew how to add to this post. Thank you for all the advice and comments, everyone. It sounds like there was a miscommunication between you and your husband regarding his birthday plans, leading to an uncomfortable situation with his sister. It's important to openly communicate and find a compromise that works for both of you to avoid misunderstandings in the future. It's understandable to feel hurt and betrayed in this situation, but it's crucial to address these feelings calmly and openly with your husband to resolve the issue and move forward positively. Would I be the asshole for not letting my parent hijack my hometown vacation? First time posting here, and I'm hoping you all have some good feedback for this. Here it goes. I, 33 years old female, have been planning a trip back to my hometown for a while now. I don't live too far away, about 3 hours away, but in recent years it's been tough to juggle work, hobbies, friends, relationship, etc. in just the town I'm in, let alone trying to schedule trips to my hometown. I try my best to make it to important events like graduations, Christmas, weddings, but can't make weekend trips as often as I used to in my 20s. This has become even harder after moving in with my boyfriend a year ago, 38 years old male, let's call him Taylor, as we are trying to establish a life together, and we only have weekends off to spend time with each other. I found the perfect opportunity to visit my hometown with him when the announcement of an annual festival back home posted its dates. It lined up perfectly with our schedules. I have divorced parents. They've been divorced since I was 6 years old, and both are happily remarried to fantastic people. Luckily, both sides of my family still live in my hometown, and this makes the holiday season both a bit chaotic, but doable. This is important. Taylor has met my mom, 49 years old, female, and my stepdad, 55 years old, male, already. They were on vacation, passed through the town I live in, and we had lunch. Everything seems to go well, and everyone got along, or I thought. Once Taylor and I got back to our apartment, he mentioned that my mom is nice but can be a bit of a guilt tripper. I'll be honest, I've noticed this before in my past, but always assumed I was the one at fault there. Yesterday I had a phone conversation with my mom. She stated that no one has planned a 50th birthday for her. This is a surprise because I have been talking to my mom about her 50th birthday since January this year. How she should let me know when she'll be having the party so I can make sure I block that weekend off with her. That is when she says, well, you'll be in town the weekend after my birthday. We should have a BBQ at my place. Not that she has planned a BBQ or that a date is set. She wants me to use my vacation to plan her a 50th birthday party when the entire purpose of this trip was so Taylor could experience my hometown and see all the fun stuff that happens in the area, and meet my dad, of course. My mom has been known to attempt to hijack events I have planned with my dad since I was in grade school, but I can't help but feel guilt that she didn't plan or voiced her want for a party until the very last minute. The festival events all take place in the afternoon tonight on both Saturday and Sunday, and I doubt my mom would like a BBQ at 9 a.m. So Reddit, would I be the asshole for not letting my mom change most of my vacation plans? Alternatively, I thought about making a day trip on Mother's Day, but I'm not sure if that'll be enough. My mom's birthday lands very close to Mother's Day, and she might not think that's a 50th birthday level event. It sounds like you're in a tricky situation with your mom wanting to redirect your vacation plans for her birthday. It's understandable that you want to prioritize your boyfriend's first visit to your hometown and the festival activities. Maybe you could suggest a compromise, like a special Mother's Day day trip, to show your mom love while still enjoying your planned vacation with Taylor. Am I the antagonist for not wanting my daughter's bio mother at her graduation? 4 years ago, I legally adopted my bonus daughter by her request because her biological mom was a drug addict and had abandoned her on more than one occasion from infancy through 10. The last straw happened when she was 11 and came to live with her father and myself full-time because biological mom was on yet another binge, and nobody had seen her in months. She left bonus daughter with her grandmother and went missing. Hubby and I got word of what happened and we went and picked her up, filed for full custody, the whole 9 yards. 3 years later, after zero contact from her, she shows up on drugs, of course, and pregnant with a random guy's kid. That is when bonus daughter asked me to adopt her, because as her words, "You've been present in my life more in the past few years than my mom has my whole life." Not long after this, her biological mom has the baby, who was taken by Child Protective Services because of neonatal addiction, and she disappears again. Parental severance and adoption go through uncontested. Life is peaceful. Fast forward to now. Daughter recently turned 18 and is getting ready to graduate. She asks her extended family on biological mom's side to come to her graduation, which I am completely fine with since she has maintained contact with them. They didn't abandon her. But she was asked if she wanted her biological mom to be there. She told them she does, but at the same time she doesn't because she doesn't know how it would make her feel to see her in person again. But at the same time she knows is still her biological mom, so she has mixed feelings. And just for context, biological mom is pregnant again with new guy and has been clean for a year, but we all know she could slip again too easily. I will admit I was quite hurt when I found out she was considering letting her be there. The way I see it, she abandoned her yet again, almost zero contact or anything through the years, so why should she share any of the happiness and glory that comes from my daughter graduating? I know my daughter is 18 now and I can't do anything if she decides to have a relationship with biological mom, but it still hurts nonetheless. Also, yes, I know if it wasn't for biological mom, I wouldn't have such an amazing daughter, but I also know that if I didn't step up, that my daughter wouldn't have had a stable mother in her life. Biological mom caused a lot of trauma for that young lady that I had to help her work through. I put her in therapy, took her to the doctors, helped her gain weight. I made sure I was present for all the big things she experienced, all the firsts that are important for teenage girls. First kiss, first boyfriend, first heartbreak, etc. So am I the asshole for not wanting her biological mom to be there for such an important day in my daughter's life? P.S. Wow. If my daughter absolutely insisted she be there, then yes, I would grin and bear it, but she has talked with me and is on the fence about it. I am asking on here because she wanted my opinion on what to do, but I know I am biased. It sounds like you've been an incredible support system for your daughter, providing stability and care when she needed it most. It's understandable that you would feel protective and hesitant about her biological mom's presence at such a significant milestone. Ultimately, the decision should prioritize your daughter's feelings and well-being, so open communication and understanding her perspective will be key in navigating this situation gracefully. Am I the antagonist for leaving my partner at our lake house with their family? My husband and I own a lake house that we spend most of our free time at when it's warm. We go there over the winter to check on it and do any basic maintenance that is required. It is not set up for winter living. We often invite friends and family over. We have almost 2 acres of land, and there is lots of room to park an RV or set up a tent. The house has a septic tank for the toilet. All the other water goes to a gray water tank we use for the garden and lawn. We only use biodegradable products. We have a very well-built and ventilated outhouse for when we have people over. So last weekend was the one where we went out to get the house ready for the spring and summer. We ordered the water truck to fill our tank, the propane guys to fill up that tank. We ran water through the pipes to flush them out and get them ready to use. And his mom and dad showed up with his brother and his family, which would be fine except it was a cold and unpleasant weekend. So they didn't want to set up tents and stay outside. I asked him why they were here. He said that he told them we were going out, and they sort of invited themselves out. They didn't bring out much besides some sandwiches and a bunch of beer. They didn't understand why we didn't have any of the water toys ready. There was still ice on the lake. I asked my husband to tell them that we were not ready for guests and that they needed to leave or help. He wouldn't do it. So I left. I said I needed to run to the store. I took my car and went to the grocery store 5 blocks from my house. It is an Asian market with great sushi. I think my husband expected me to just be going to the gas station a mile from the lake. I left him out there to prep the house and deal with his guests. He is upset now that I left without telling him that I wasn't coming back, that he had to do all the work by himself, that he had to clean the house by himself. He said his family thought I was rude not to stick around and host. I did not invite them. I told him that the house was not ready for guests. I told him that we did not have enough toilet paper for 8 people. He knew that we only had food for the 2 of us for the weekend. I think it's his fault and his problem. Should I have sucked it up and taken one for the team, or am I the asshole? It sounds like you set clear boundaries and communicated effectively about the readiness of your lake house, so it's understandable that you chose to leave rather than feel overwhelmed. Your husband should have respected your concerns and handled the situation better with his family, so you're not the one at fault here for prioritizing your own well-being in the moment. Am I the antagonist for telling my child the truth about their other parent? I am a 36-year-old female and have a daughter who is 12 years old with my ex-husband. My ex-husband and I split almost 10 years ago when our daughter was 2. We did not split on good terms due to cheating on his part. However, I have never wanted to jeopardize their relationship, especially since she has always been a big daddy's girl. So to give some background, we have done a 50-50 custody arrangement since the divorce, but when our daughter turned 4, he started making excuses. He was going on a work trip, he was sick, he had a stressful week, a deadline to meet. When he eventually took her for his week, she started being more angry at me. More tantrums whenever she got home, refusing to listen to me and telling me that she hated me and asked me why I hated her dad so much. At first, I didn't understand why, but then one time she just started crying after I picked her up. She told me, "Mommy, can I please stay at Dad's for another week?" I texted him and asked. He told me that he didn't want to. This started happening every time after I picked her up. Eventually, she just asked me why I couldn't let her spend another week at her dad's and why I was lying about him being busy. I have never ever told her the truth because when he eventually has her for his week, he is a fantastic father and she loves him. The older she has gotten, the more angry with me she has gotten. Last week, her dad had her after refusing for 2 months. When she got home, she immediately started having an attitude, telling me that I am a bitter psycho, that she hated me, started throwing her clothes, and telling me that she just wishes I would let her be with her dad instead of forcing her to stay here for so long at a time. After 2 hours of this, or more like 8 years, I got fed up. I told her that it is her dad that is causing this, that he doesn't want to see her. She did not believe me until I handed her my phone so she could read our text. After this, she has just shut down. She told me that she was sorry for everything and has been crying asking what she ever did to him. On top of this, her dad texted me asking what was wrong with me for telling her this and that. I have now ruined their relationship forever. He has sent a few more texts, basically boiling it down to me being the biggest jerk most of the time. I feel like a crappy mom for causing my daughter to feel like this, but after so many years I just couldn't take it anymore. I know it was probably wrong, but I don't know what else I could have done. He has been telling her for so long that I am the one not letting her see him and has caused my relationship with her to be so bad that she at days has refused to even talk with me. Was I the jerk for telling my daughter this? While it's understandable your frustration reached a breaking point, it may have been more constructive to address the issue with your ex-husband directly rather than involving your daughter in the situation. Open communication with him about your concerns could prevent further strain on your daughter's relationship with both of you. Am I the antagonist for refusing to open a digital birthday card sent to me by my parents because it's not a real card sent by mail? My parents stopped celebrating most holidays when I turned 12 because my dad would always throw a tantrum over something and ruin it. As an adult, I never go home for anything and haven't since I was 21. I am 33 now. My mother has always sent me a really sweet card she picks out by herself with $15 or so to treat myself to lunch. She's been doing this since I was a young adult, and when I was younger we used to go out together and get breakfast, or something like that. It was so special to me. Since we can't do that anymore, as an adult the card itself is the stand-in for that. Last year, possibly after talking to my dad who never has been involved in this, she said she will no longer be sending me a birthday card in the mail anymore. I asked why, and she said she thinks they're silly, and we live in a world where email is the same thing, and it's what my dad prefers. I told her it's not the same thing to me, that I save all the cards she sends me and I don't know, it's our thing, the one thing we have. A digital card where they have 30 choices and is sent the day of to my inbox isn't the same. But my mom was adamant and also asked me to stop sending them cards for their birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, which, yeah, I do send, etc. This year I was sent a digital card. I didn't open it. My dad eventually emailed me and asked why. I explained that while I appreciate the effort as I explained last year, it is just not the same to me as having one mom picked out by hand, wrote in and sent to me. The only point of me accepting opening a card to begin with was because of our tradition and mom, he decided to break it for whatever reason. To be clear, this isn't an issue of trying to cut back on waste, they don't recycle. Nor is it a religious issue, nor is it a frugality issue, they're wealthy. Nor have I ever said my dad can't pick out a card and sign it, have my mom sign it in the same way she has. They don't acknowledge me really, at all, as a person anymore, and my one wish for my birthday is to just have them pick out a card, write a note in it, and send it to me. Yes, if I called my mom, she would tell me happy birthday and talk to me, and most years we do that. But the card is just really important to me for a reason I can't place. Am I the asshole for standing firmly and refusing to compromise on this? You are not the asshole for valuing the sentimental tradition of receiving a handwritten card from your mother, as it holds special meaning to you. It's understandable that you are disappointed with the shift to digital cards and that you wish to maintain this meaningful connection with your parents. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.